Not too much of a big update, but I started to, well, as you can see, there's ass load of sand on the ground. Shit's everywhere. I bought an abrasive blaster and hooked it up to the compressor. I got the rear end down to bare metal, and I started to spray it. And as you, I don't know if you can see all the detail in it. It's got like all the little sparkles and glimmer, whatever. Pretty nice. You know, not really necessary, but you know, while I had the rear end out, you know, I figured it'd just be lazy not to paint it, and I was right. As you can see, the paint job's not perfect, and I didn't remove everything. But again, it's the rear end, so I mean, I did the best I could with it. You know, without removing the brakes and shit. And the torque arm. And again, here's a, I don't know if you can see all the sparkles on that. But, yeah. You know, it's coming along alright. We actually, we did both rear ends. I did the rear end for the 89 Camaro here, and we also went out and grabbed a 10 bolt from a guy off Craigslist who I guess he ordered a 9-inch or something, but he let it go for next to nothing, and you know, we started rebuilding it. Yeah. Here's the 10 bolt for the 69. As you can still see, like, we got a few places that, you know, that we couldn't get all the way, but overall, for a little $40 blaster, it worked out really good. Let's see, we did everything. So, to give you some idea of how clean I was able to get mine, it was roughly this clean when we knocked it down. As you can see, there's nothing special about my compressor. 17 gallon, 150 psi, 1.8 horsepower. You know, shit, just use whatever you got, and it doesn't mean it won't work, it just means it'll take longer, and you should be taking your time anyway. Excuse me. There it is. This cheap compressor works really well, actually. Comes with this gun and hose, and I mean, enough said. You just slap it on and it just works. You fill the tank up with pretty much anything. Shit, it'll spray out water if you put water in it, or it'll spray out glass beads or walnut shells or baking soda or whatever you want, pretty much. But for 40 bucks, it came from Harbor Freight. And, you know, getting it to this step first, I was then able to go ahead and lay down some paint. And this is just a rattle can job, by the way. This is duplicolor. It's duplicolor wheel paint. And I chose that because right out of the can, excuse me, on the back of the can, as you can see, I still need to hit this area right here where all the overspray is. Yeah, I'm gonna go back over this thing and hit it with the 320 grit sandpaper, and yeah, put down like 3 more coats. But it doesn't need to be cleared, but I think I'm gonna do it anyway. But that's the reason why I use this, because it can go right on bare metal. The can says that it doesn't need primer, although I suppose you could use it, couldn't hurt, but you don't need it. So, you know, I really wasn't tripping. I just sprayed something on there. Anyway, new top. As you can see, I'm not done gluing it down yet, but you know, after the fit gets right, then, you know, I'll glue it down. And you can see all my crap in there. A new carpet, jute, all that, the whole nine. Spray my wheel wells. As you can see, they're not perfect, and the reason is because I just wanted to put something down first. See the cracks here. I still haven't laid down the seam sealer. I brought some fresh seam sealer, the brush-on type. I'm gonna go ahead and lay that down in the cracks first. Then I'm gonna hit everything with a 320 grit and spray Raptor truck bed liner in here. This is my gas tank area. Spray it all with. So it's coming along, and I can't wait to get the rear end and the LS1 tank on there to complete the job. I used Pour 15 top coat to paint the bottom of the car, but I did not use Pour 15 rust preventative paint, because if you don't have rust, it doesn't adhere very well, and zero rust, like, it adheres to anything pretty much, even if you don't have rust. So I sprayed that down first, and this is the Pour 15 top coat in the satin black. Again, this was sprayed out of my cheap Harbor Freight compressor, 17 gallons. No, you know, super over the top special equipment was used. Everything was done relatively cheap, and the reason why I did it myself was because you can see all the overspray in my engine bay, but I'm not tripping. I'll show you. You can see a sand bath. Anyway, but the reason why I did it myself is because I was quoted, you know, about $2,000 from multiple places to have it done, which I thought was ridiculous, seeing as how all it really is caked up grease. So I decided to get under there and scrape it all off myself, and when I did, you know, I was like, fuck it. Hell, for $2,000, I mean, shit, I can try and do it myself and sand the whole thing down if I fuck it up and just do it again. I can do that like 4 times and still not pay that much. So having that said, the compressor was $200. I used cheap, again, Harbor Freight wire wheels. As you can see, they're cheap. They don't last very long. This one was $2.99. I have a few that actually did last a very long time. This one here was 20 bucks. Again, they're the same thing, but the same end result. I will admit that the one that cost $20, I've had it since I bought my grinder, which was well over a year ago. As you can see, various different kinds of brushes were used, but the compressor was $200. The gun that I used, I actually threw away. I used the touch-up gun because you have to spray upward, and the Harbor Freight, well, the, you know, their top coat gun, excuse me, was gravity fed. So was the smaller one, but it had an adjustable bottle, so when I point the gun up like this, there's no gravity, so the paint won't, you know, it won't spray. The other one had a bottle that I can tilt upright, and it, you know, it had a smaller tip. It was just a touch-up gun, and they recommend you spray it with at least 1.7 or up. But to tell you the truth, I mean, I just thinned the paint. You know, it said to thin it at 5%. I thinned mine to about 8, and it, you know, it laid down fine. Honestly, I probably didn't even need to use that much. As you can see, I started sanding down engine bay, getting them prepped for paint. After I finished the suspension over there, well, excuse me, that is the rear end, the suspension that's sitting right there. Well, I actually got some new parts, so some of these old parts won't get used, but you get the same ideas. The principle's the same. It's gonna all be sanded down. I might use the blaster, but these parts are relatively small enough, because like I said, I have a small compressor, and the blaster works nice, but it takes very long. And it might just be faster for me to just do this by hand. There's not too many parts that I can't reach. Anyway, enough of that. It's all going to be sprayed the same color as that over there. And then it's going to go back on the car along with the LS1 gas tank. I still need to paint the straps. As you can see, they're still kind of fucked up. So I'm going to take the straps off and sand those down. I'm gonna paint them with the wheel paint, and you know, and it's duplicolor. The rattle cans actually give you a lot of control, and there's very little overspray, but it comes out pretty light, which is good because, you know, a lot of light coats actually comes out a lot better than a few heavy ones. So having that said, what you're looking at on the underbody is 3 coats of Zero Rust and 2 top coats of Pour 15 chassis black in the satin finish. But on the rear end, I had to lay down more coats. What you're looking at right now is 4 coats of the wheel paint. But, you know, after this really dries up nice and good, it's been out here for a couple hours now, I'm actually going to come out with the 320 grit. I'm going to scuff the surface. I'm probably going to lay down 3 more coats. I don't know, I just found that with those duplicolor paints, you kind of have to lay it on like more times. Not like a heavier coat, but more light coats. Like really, like I misted it on. Like the first coat barely looked like it was even painted, and I just kind of kept doing that. Anyway, I'm not going to talk your head off. I'm going to go ahead and paint the shit I showed you. I'm going to get the tank in there, but before that, I got to install a new fuel pump, and I also have to install the new sending unit, and the sending unit matches my new gauges, blah, 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 blah. You know how it goes. My garage is a mess, as you can see. Anyway, I got other shit to do, so, check back later. Bye.